So my talk and connected to what we have seen 2 years ago now in Oslo is the goal is to develop an automatic climate station, a prototype in order to give energy continuity to automatic climate to one example of automatic climate station for observation in the Arctic. So my goal is basically on the energy system that supply energy and maintain energy for this type of application, but not only. We will see the topic is broader. So we start from our capabilities. So of course, I am leading the laboratories in Politecnico related to not conventional processes, so electrochemical and thermocatalytic, related to energy. Is a picture of the laboratories. We develop a system for continuity based on battery, based on chemicals, so hydrogen and synthetic molecule. And yeah, in this context, we've been involved in the application of this type of technology in some area which are remote compared to more classical application, let's say. So first, I've been involved in the working group related to the resource planning process for 2022-2026 that we have completed in a few months ago. And one of the topic, of course, coming out is to increase the use of local resources in order to supply the energy needs in this remote application. There are local renewable available. Of course, compared to other part of the world, it is necessary to store them with more care, let's say, because of the weather condition. So in order to use to go out of fossil, imagine totally out, not only for a climate station, but maybe also for a community, is necessary for sure to implement a storage option of particular kind, not only batteries, is what I mean. Yeah, we did already. Yeah, this is basically what I already said now. So it is necessary for guarantee the match, as we know, between a profile of renewable and a profile of load, which is of course not matching naturally. We have to make a compensation between the surplus given in some part of the year, or the day and night, and especially on the level of the year, so seasonal, and the deficit to compensate using storage solution. The storage solution for short term, a small size, for sure battery, but if you go longer term, a bigger size, some chemical probably will be more interesting compared to battery, even in terms of cost. So what we develop in our laboratory is basically a hybrid storage system, which exploit an hybridization between the capability of short-term storage of battery and some chemicals, for example, hydrogen, which is probably the most interesting because it doesn't contain carbon in the molecule, for longer term. This type of system that now we will see in practice, named the power system, basically are not only interesting because they avoid the local pollution totally, they are avoiding totally the fossil. This is the principle. Increase the energy autonomy locally. Here now we are talking weather station, but imagine to extend to communities, and improve also the reliability. So the fuel is basically there. You don't have to import from somewhere in other part of the world. But also in this location, the cost become interesting. So it's not only a matter of autonomy and sustainability, but also a matter of cost. Becomes more economic to produce locally the fuel using the renewable compared to import it. We did already experience in the past, in the last 10 years. This is an example. Is of course not Svalbard, but it is climate which is similar, which is in middle of Norway, in close to Trondheim, so in the Rie village. So we implemented this type of solution, which is for a local agri-food industry. This is the solution you see in the bottom. So this agri-food industry is based only on for all the year, all along the year, night and day, and in all the seasons. So from winter to summer, is based only on this wind turbine and this photovoltaic field. How implemented this type of basically a buffer system, a storage system, which is based on basically hydrogen. So this is the cylinder containing hydrogen at 30 bar. the electrolyzer that takes the energy in excess from the two renewable and store in form of hydrogen as a chemical storage. And the fuel cell that reconvert this hydrogen in electricity when it is needed. So totally clean. So there is no fossil at all. There is just for safety a biofuel generator, but we never use it. The battery is included in the package, is in between the fuel cell block and the electrolyzer block. This system has been tested basically 5 years ago. What to do? So we propose the same system for application in Svalbard. For now, the application is in a climate weather station, so small size. We will see now. This was the award in November, beginning of November 2023, with Marius as well, and I am in the center. Yeah, following this, we started first the design. So we have making the target is this for the install, build before, and this what we are completing now. Build and install a hybrid hydrogen battery storage system to supply a climate weather station in an Arctic environment, the Svalbard archipelago. The structure of the system is, as I said, implementing renewable. We will see. In our case, we will select. We have selected only photovoltaic for basically to avoid the problem of strong wind for the application of the wind turbine. So we decided at the end to go only to photovoltaic and the hybridization of battery and hydrogen system. So we are going to complete the building. We will see now where we are. Now after meaning February testing lab at the beginning in our laboratories in Torino. Then we will make a test out of the laboratory in the mountains probably in Appendino close to Bologna is let's say a mountain environment, and then finally to make a test on field in Svalbard, so to go really on the field. Of course, to make the design, we collected all the energy data. So basically what we need is input of energy. So what are available from the environment. So basically solar irradiance, profile of solar irradiance and the profile of wind speed. And on the other side of the system there is the load. So the load profile. The load profile is not problematic because at the end is a load in this type of application which is quite small and continuous. So we are talking of something around 200 watts. It's very small. So we did the design of the system using as an example, so where the implementation will be done, the open weather station with, as I said, a constant, roughly constant demand of 200 watts along the year, which is a small size, of course. So yeah, the design is basically this one. So the system can be sustained all the complete year. So starting from 1st of January to 31 or 31st of December with this hybridization system. So a lithium-ion battery of 600 watt hour, basically with a mass of 8 kilograms. An electrolyzer. So the electrolyzer take the role of the battery in input, so receive an excess of solar irradiance to convert in a chemical. This electrolyzer is a proton exchange membrane, so we're using an acid electrolyte membrane of small 500 watts with a mass of 15 kilograms. The converter back of the of hydrogen into electricity, which is the fuel cell. Again, the same type of technology, so acid membrane, PEM, of 200 kilowatt, which is equal to the load, 9 kilograms. And finally, the storage element is the hydrogen storage vessel, which is a 3.3 kilogram of hydrogen to supply the complete year with a mass of 220 kilogram in total, because there is a hydrogen plus the cylinder, of course. We are talking of a cylinder storing hydrogen at 30 bar. These are a picture of this type of system. First, before going to the most recent picture, I will show you some of the challenge, the particularity. So, this is the sketch of the module. So you see, all this, apart of the photovoltaic, which is external, and the hydrogen vessel, which is a bigger size, let's say, and can sustain the temperature outside. It's not problematic. all the other components should be contained in an insulated box. It's not a problem even in this case, because considering the profile of temperature along the year, and considering that this element, this technology, in any case, produce heat coming from their type of their operation, basically, their, in many cases, exothermic. This module with a good insulation can self-sustain the temperature inside. Anyway, it should be in a box. Second, water management. Water management is particular because, in principle, water is the element which is circulating. Because where we start, we use an excess of solar energy to split water. So water is split by the electrolyzer. It's split in what? It's split in oxygen that can exit, but the hydrogen is not exiting, of course, is stored and then given to a fuel cell when it is needed to produce electricity. The fuel cell, what is doing is reproducing water by oxidation of the hydrogen. So the water is produced back. This water is not rejected, is resent to the water tank. At the end, apart from the oxygen which is exchanged with the atmosphere, the hydrogen is always the same. So it's always the same molecule circulating, and the water is a closed loop. This, of course, to avoid the phenomenon of freezing, which have to be totally avoided in this type of application. So the application is basically similar to what we can do in the space. So in a space application will be the same. So a closed loop of the molecule, apart oxygen, thanks to the presence of the atmosphere. Still, we are in the biosphere. So water closed loop is an issue that we have faced in the project. Of course, in other situations, it's not necessary. Here, it was necessary. And then, limitation of weight and volume is mandatory for this type of application in remote area in order to make a transportation in the site for helicopter. All that said, these are the picture that we took in October 2015 of 2025. So this is my lab, this is me. Here you can see, with some colleagues, you can see the fuel cell module here with the control system. Here you can see better. So this is the fuel cell, the stack, with the input and output of the gas, hydrogen, and the excess of hydrogen, which is going out, because we work with a little excess of hydrogen in the system. So here you see the electrolyzer with the electrical control, the control system. And here you can see the electrolyzer, the control system, and the power supplier. Then here we have the project we did of the chassis to host all the components in an insulated box, which is this one basically. So the chassis which will be insulated, and this is the picture of the chassis without the component installed. More recently, so this is end of December, so before going to the holiday, this is the first assembly. This is the electrolyzer. This is the fuel cell, and this is the water tank. You remember, basically, was this water tank, electrolyzer, and fuel cell. These are mounted differently compared to the schematic, but this was just a schematic diagram, not a P&I, and this is the installation in the chassis. So now what we are going to do, we have to complete this installation, and so basically what is missing is the electrical control at the end. So missing in the sense we have to complete the electrical control, and the vessel is already available, but it's out of the box. So it's already in the laboratory, and then we have to make in February a test of the functionality in the laboratory in Torino. Second step, as I said, will be the installation outside in alpine. Will be not alpine. Will be which is in the mountain in the center of Italy, another mountain. Anyway, in a mountain environment, and finally will be the transportation to Svalbard. Before ending my presentation, I just signal you that, as I said, we can do more in principle, so local community, but intermediate, we have considered to make this type of, participate to this type of European proposal. So we did a consortium with several partners, including SIOS, to reply to the call Horizon Infra 2025, we did a proposal. We did, in the sense I am coordinating the proposal, named Sustain Ice, Smart Solution for Climate Neutral Arctic Resource Infrastructure. So the goal is to reduce the environmental and climate impact of resource infrastructure. So you can imagine in some way, what I described, implemented in a bigger scale. The bigger scale is this. So resource infrastructure in Fennoscandia 4, you can see here. Resource infrastructure in Svalbard, so the Arctic, the Visible Italia station and the Hornsund station. 4 research infrastructure in Greenland, and 1 observatory, external replication study in Canada, in Kulana Lake Reserve Station. So this is the consortium that did the proposal. We will know the reply in I think middle of February, so a couple of weeks from now. And this probably, if we go to succeed, the concept that I presented in SIOS and discussed in this short presentation will be much more replicated and with bigger size. So we'll see which is the result. These are some references, and yeah, basically this is the end of my talk for today.